Hello, and welcome. Welcome to the pet room. I do believe Rudy just called.
David?
Oh, hello, Rudy.
How you doing?
Good, I'm back in the pet room.
Yay!
I've been just, oh, I've been doing a bunch of things, and I was just looking for my little wee pliers because I bent a couple of pins, but I can't find them, so it's all right. But
You
the
look,
bit,
in your, you
huh?
look in your bucket? You look in your bucket?
Oh yes, yes, there are so many buckets. Anyway,
Ah,
what yeah. Basically, I have an old pet in front of me. By the way, I'm recording right now.
oh, okay.
Um,
Hello.
hello. This is Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel,
Hello.
home of the Pet Companion.
Oh,
Um, anyway, I've got an old pet in front of me, but I also have two others
right.
that are the same original board, which of course you remember. You must watch the 6520 chip. There's that everything on the board. The witness mark goes to the right side, except for that 16520.
That's correct.
Yep. Anyway, so I have this one in front of me. It's all fine. It's all dandy. And I'm using it to test chips and things from the other two.
Very nice.
Because the one, it's funny, as you will see in the upcoming videos, I turn it on, it comes up with a weird pattern that almost looks like something from Tank Wars. But then when I push on this one chip in the back, it kind of changes. So it could be a socket issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. It's a
And,
socket.
but I have not yet rescued the um, what is the name of that magic stuff again?
Oh, the
Deoxit.
deoxit. Yeah.
Deoxit. Yes, I have to rescue that. It's still trapped in the cabinet, which of course was a serious mistake.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Oh, hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hang on.
And now I can hear you.
Let me check something here. Let me check my what internet thing I'm on. Oh, well, it should be the one right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
You could also that chip, that socket, that could be bad. Um, just touch up the solder on those pins first.
oh, that's possible. But well, that of course means I've got to take the
Yeah.
board out and flip it over and yeah. Anyway, I will see about that. I've tried three different identical chips in there with the same sort of result. So I think that definitely there's something going on in there. But anyway, but I've still been exploring other. Oh. Oh no, Rudy went away. Rudy went away. Let's see how this works.
Hello again, David Bradley.
Is that Rudy from Rudy's Retro Intel?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear
I
me?
still can't hear you.
This is not good. Okay. Let me
Oh,
try.
now I can hear you.
This is weird. Hello?
Very strange.
Okay. So,
So I was
um,
saying
yes.
that socket that you said when you press down, it works. What you can do is just take your soldering iron, retouch all the pins on that socket. Maybe there's a crack solder joint
A
on them.
cold solder joint.
That's it. Cold or crack solder joint.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
So
could
join
be.
that first before you replace the socket.
Oh yeah. No. I definitely. Yeah. I would try that or the deoxit
Yeah,
to
do the
see what's what.
deoxit first, which is easier. Try it out. It could be just dirty, micro corrosion.
Micro corrosion.
That's right. And then if it doesn't work, then just go back and reflow the solder on all the pins for that socket and try it again. Worst case, you have to remove the socket.
Heavens. Well, there are worse things than having to remove a socket. Anyway, the other thing I've been doing, because these are all the same, these three machines here,
Right?
is I've been testing all the other chips as I go,
Nice.
including the RAM chips, which inevitably are always suspect. But I
Did
have,
you, did
yep,
you run across your diagnostic board for the pet?
it's with the deoxit
Because then
in the cabinet. Yes,
you can pop that in and it will test the memory for you too.
yep. Well, in this whole game of shuffling things here and there, I'm perhaps slightly closer to where I could shuffle. Oh God. Well, let's see. To get into that cabinet, at minimum, I guess now I have to move a 9090, 6 pets, a monitor, and yes, a partridge in a pear tree.
You could, in the background, you could play the Tetris music.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's about what it's like. Anyway, I will get, oh, and then of course the pets are sitting on a couple of chairs in front of that as well, so they have to move.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but,
It'll be worth the effort.
oh yeah. No, I'm never going to stick these things behind anything ever again. Oh no. Anyway, but the nice thing with these, of course, the old machines are, the RAM chips for the machine are the same as the screen RAM chips.
That's right.
So I have been doing a number of swapping of the RAM chip, and I have found some that are bad. Mostly are good, but I mean, one bad RAM chip can cause all kinds of havoc.
Right. That's the old board that you're working on. It has the 6550 RAM chips.
Yeah.
I have extra if you need some.
Ooh. Is this from your project from Newfoundland?
Yes.
Ooh.
So I think I have 6 or 10.
Because was he running it through that board that took care of the RAM?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So
Cool.
with that board, you don't have any RAM installed, or ROMs.
Huh.
So it's the RAM and ROM replacement.
Well, that's pretty cool. And of course, if you don't open up the machine, nobody would ever know.
Exactly.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. So
and you can you can do different versions of the ROMs too, can't you?
Yes, you can do the ROM 1 and 2. You can't do basic. So you can do basic 1 and 2. You can't do basic 4 because the old boards won't support the newer basic 4.
Right.
But if it's a newer board, like a later board, like let's say a 4016, you can use that for everything, right? You can change the ROMs to whatever you like. It's just the earlier boards that doesn't work.
Well, it's funny. These 3 machines I'm looking at, the one that's on right now with the chiclet keyboard and the cassette that is saying over and over "World of Commodore" because I'm just having it run. It has basic 1. The other 2 that aren't working have basic 2. And of course, I know that in order to test them, I have to move them all. Because they all, the new ones work together and they won't work with the old ones. So I have not done that yet. I basically I've been testing everything else. And
the basic 1 and 2 can work in the older board.
Oh yeah. No. I can, but I have to switch them all.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So I have not done that yet. I mostly have been going through everything else and putting everything in tiny little bags, making sure I know which is which from which machine.
Right.
And see the one of them, and I've got to see about figuring it out. The one is the blue one, the blue bezel with the big keyboard, and it has the funny video thing in the back that I think was some university thing that they could, take. Basically, it looks like a connector from a CB radio antenna, and I don't know what kind of video came out of it, but I suspect it was so that the instructor could say, "Okay, look it up on the screen here."
Right.
And this is the one that I suspect the middle of the machine was replaced. It was probably a chiclet one that then was upgraded to having a real keyboard because it doesn't actually have a PET logo thing on the front of it at all.
Wow. Okay.
But it also doesn't work. So I've been going through and tinkering and seeing and anyway, basically all the chips so far have worked. I haven't checked the ROMs yet. And then, I'll see. Anyway.
And don't forget, if you have any that you're not getting anything on the screen, you can always plug in the PET Companion.
The PET Companion, yeah.
To verify is the issue with the motherboard or with the monitor.
Yeah. Well, I haven't quite got that far yet because I'm still just doing chips. Although that machine, I pretty much have checked everything. That board is, of course, the one that has the little red LED. And what does the little red LED do? I don't know. But there it is.
What the LED was, initially when they first built them, they ran a special Commodore diagnostics program.
Oh, yeah.
that no one seems to know or have, not that I know of, and it would flash codes. But in standard operation, like for yourself or myself or anyone else, it doesn't do anything.
Huh.
It may flash when you power on, but that's not always the case.
Uh-oh, this pet just shut off. There we go. Ha ha ha. Tap the screen. Well, it's funny because I do have this original manual that makes reference to this diagnostic pet harness, but I've never seen one.
No. Well, if it had schematics, I wouldn't mind getting a copy and we can make them.
Ooh, well, I'll see about that. I will look at it further. I'm not sure if it's complete or not, but anyway, it's an old binder with lots of stuff.
Yeah. So just remember that LED. Just ignore it. It
doesn't
really do anything.
Oh yes, I've been ignoring it for 40 years.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that it would have a purpose when connected to the diagnostics.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so the latest what I'm up to is on the machine that I refer to as Dusty Rusty and Crusty. I've been checking the RAM chips and I did find one of the screen RAM chips was bad, so I thought, oh, this could be it, but it didn't make any difference. So I'm continuing to check the RAM chips, and then I will check all the rest of the major chips that are all socketed, of course, and see what else I can find. But I'm thinking that definitely there is something to do with that socket. Now, is that the only problem? I don't know. But certainly I know the modeler works because it comes up with weird stuff. And when I push on that chip, other things appear. And I let the chip go, and it goes back.
So it could be the solder that's not smoking, or look down on the socket. They're single white, meaning they only have one piece of metal on the socket itself that touches the leg of the chip.
Yep.
Check to see that those pins aren't like pushed too far out.
Right.
It's not making contact with the chip, because when you push it down, it's making contact. So what you can't do is get like a little screwdriver or something pointing, stick it in the socket, and you can actually bend that leg back towards the center of the socket, so that it makes proper contact. But do the oxide first.
Yeah, and the other thing that's difficult with all of this is it's in the back of the machine, and it's really hard to see.
Well, what you can do is put the board out and use the PET companion.
The PET companion, yes.
Run the power cable under the lip of the case and plug it in on so the board is sitting on your bench, not inside the case. Then you can access everything.
Yes, and you can flip it around and see what's what.
Exactly.
Because it is tough working in it. But that's how I ended up on one of the chips that I was testing in the back there. I bent a pin. Why? Well, because I really couldn't get a good look at it when I was pushing it in. And then I ran my fingers along the back and said, oh dear, that's not good. No. Not good.
I've done that before, and that's why, actually the main reason why I developed the PET companion board, so I can take the board out of the case and work on it.
Yep.
It's so much easier this way than having to, because I banged my head many times on the case.
And it's hard. Is that how you lost all your hair?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, dear.
But having it out, you can see everything. You can, ensure all the pins are in the socket properly. You can see if anything's burnt out, like at the back or wherever. But it just makes it easier to work on, right?
It does. Well, I'm getting there. I'm still just going through the chips. And making a list, checking it twice, taking all the little bags I got from Dollarama and writing on them. So I know what's good and what's bad. And so basically I have the Chiclet Pet, I have the blue bezel, and I have Crusty, Rusty, and Dusty. And they're all the vintage old board. And the Chiclet one works, and the other two at this moment do not. So far.
You are making progress. That's a good sign.
Well, it's kind of like Apollo 13. What do we have on the spacecraft that works? as opposed to what doesn't work.
Right.
So, and then see about what's up. But yeah, I think that something going on with that socket.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just the aux and clean up that socket and you're good to go.
I'm suspecting it's going to be somewhat. I bet you it's a cold. I bet you it's a cold joint under there. That a crap.
Another easy fix.
Yep.
As opposed to having to, pull out the socket, clean it up, put a new one in.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's all that's possible. Yes. Yes, indeedy. We will see. One at a time.
I will let you get back to your fun and games.
Oh yeah.
We will talk later.
All right. Well, yeah. Right now, I think I will. How many chips? I think I have 8 more RAM chips in Dusty Rusty and Crusty to swap over into the chiclet PET into the screen RAM to see what's what, and then I will move on to the main chips and see what is what. But that's the one that probably has the either cold solder joint or the bad socket or both or dirty socket or whatever.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Sounds like you got things in control.
Oh, one pet at a time. One pet at a time. Stay tuned. Every day at 6:00, you can watch more from the pet room, including at some point you'll find a video that mostly is just you and I talking about what's going on.
And remind everybody, press that like button and share and ring that bell to get notified.
Ooh, yes.
For the next pet room adventures.
Oh yes, the pet room continues. It is yeah, as I say, it's just like a game of shuffling this and moving that, and one thing has to move so something else can move. And but anyway, I did always intend to get at the oldest machines, and this is I didn't know I was actually going to, but then there was this crusty machine sitting there, and I said, "Oh, have a look at that."
That's not the one with all the rusted chips, is it?
No. There was just there's rust on the screen, not on the screen, on the case.
Oh, okay.
And it is rather filthy, and it was very dusty. So that's why it's Dusty, Rusty, and Crusty. But then, yeah. Anyway, so I did move the little chiclet machine over, and anyway, but I suspect what will happen after this is I will then start moving more of the oldest machines over to figure out what's what with what and see how many of them can actually get back in the game. The oldest machine that I have, which is another blue bezel one, I've never. I've looked. I've turned it on and seen that the screen did not come up right, but I've never done anything else with it. And it's kind of in a high location, which I guess the place I can get it best, or when I can get it the best, is after I move the thing, so I can get the deoxit and get the diagnostic board. And it's way up. There's a little Hagrid sitting next to him, and get into that and see what's what. So I guess unless I get another call from Greece about a disk drive, I guess I'll work on these old pets for a while.
Right.
And
I guarantee you, once you get that diagnostic board out, it's going to make your life so much easier.
I would bet.
Yeah. Just remember, you have to change the dip switches on it. If you don't have the documentation anymore, let me know, and I'll send you the information on which switches you have to select.
I think I have. I think it's all in the cabinet. The documentation, the board, the deoxit, probably all kinds of other great, wonderful things that I could really use about now. Yeah. Anyway, I will get in there.
Yeah. Good. Well,
all right.
Enjoy, and we will talk later.
Oh yes. Have a lovely, lovely day.
You too. Okay.
Bye for now. Yes, indeed. That was Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel. Oh, am I calling again? No, I'm not calling again. And my phone, in the midst of that, came up and said that the battery is low. So I guess what I need to do is stop recording and get charging, maybe do a little copying, and maybe go to the grocery store before I continue to do more testing on Blue Bezel and Dusty Rusty and Crusty with the help of the Chiclet PET. So yes, it does seem we're on a roll with the oldest machines, of which I've lost track. I think there's 4 others. Certainly there's a board up there. And somewhere is the chocolate pet that I still haven't been able to finish, but I think once I can get, and I've been trying to look for a socket, and I go to Sayal Electronics, and little by little they're having less and less stuff that's helpful. So I may have to look online, or I guess I could, if I'm sure, I could, after getting the bad socket out, if I really can't find a replacement, if I really have faith, I could solder the RAM chip directly to the board. But I'd rather not. I would rather not. Anyway, thanks for coming to the pet room. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes. They air pretty much every day at 6 p.m. Toronto time, which is now, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's Eastern Standard Time. I think we're off daylight saving time. Someday there just won't be daylight saving time, probably. But not until the United States does it. And then Canada will say, oh, I guess we better do that too. I guess. Anyway, thanks for being here. Stay tuned. And please send comments, send your insights, send your wisdom. And if you feel like it, send some rum. Although I don't drink much, I do occasionally entertain the thought of a lot of ice cubes, a little bit of rum, and some Coke, delicately mixed together. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Have a lovely day. See you again in the pet room. Bye for now.